Good morning from the Happy Heretic Garden. It's about 8:30 on May 23rd. It is my youngest daughter's birthday. She turns 28. Happy birthday, Megan. Wanted to do a quick walkthrough and let you see how things were going. The sunflowers are getting pretty big. We've had sort of a couple of different problems with them. So I sprayed diatomaceous earth, and before that I put, I looked up a fungicide, that's what it was, that would help with the black spot that we had all over the yard. And it did a little bit of leaf damage, but it's not contagious, and that was the point. I hated it. But if you'll notice, let's see, let's start at the very beginning. These are the Russian mammoths. And who do we have visiting today? No. These are the Russian mammoths. And I think Spider, he can stay. Okay, I come out here every morning and I inspect as much as I can by hand, and I find all kinds of interesting things. For instance, I have Mr. Ant over here, which means I'm going to have to spray a little bit more DE, which should stick to the fuzzy stalks, and that will keep him from bringing aphids up here. And if not that, I've seen even something like petroleum jelly at the very base of your plants because the ants won't walk over it. But anyway, so what we have going on is we have flowers forming, and this is several different types of sunflowers. That's going to be a big bloom. And more. You have to go. And we have something in here. I'm not even sure what that is. We also have many things, and that's just when we get started. And I'll show you in just a second the reason why I even got the camera this morning. Oh, puppy damage. Jumping off the porch. Okay, so I came out actually to check the compost. Oh, hugelkultur bed. Check it out. Look at that. Now, I only put a few here just to check the fertility and moisture retention and things like that. I've got this red giant mustard, excuse me, in several different places. But I came out this morning and it is so hard to find the little bitty things that will eat your plants. I picked 2 or 3 teeny tiny little caterpillars off this morning. I think one's currently in my hair. I'm not entirely sure. Got a little bit of fuzz there. Oh, there we go. Like that. And what's funny is I only saw one till I looked through my lens, the camera, and then I saw another one. All right, and I already picked a couple off, so I will come back and get those because I can't do it one-handed and get rid of them. I'm gonna feed them to the chickens. But compost. The great big compost pile I had that I was working is finally depleted. It's been used in a little bit in the worms, hugelkultur beds, and in both flower beds. So I've got a new one started, but this is what I wanted to show you. Under here, let's see, usually there's one on top, but I was digging around. Oh, sorry. There's one on top. Yesterday I was digging around. But you see how dark and rich that is? Look at that. That's amazing soil. And I'm going to leave it down there. I left a very, very thin layer. All the weeds around it are very, very happy too. Anyway, so this was a tree we trimmed, and I stripped the leaves off the branches, and I'll be cutting those up or they won't ever break down. These take forever to break down. And I intend this to be the biggest pile I've done yet, because I've got such a large area. So I can really put a lot in, and then I intend to use it much later in the summer. I have been processing things pretty quickly and very, very hot. speaking of which, this is my hot compost pile, my really hot, keep it hot one, which I couldn't resist. I stirred it up a little bit this morning. So the temperature is only 120 right now. There we go. And what was interesting is when I got the last bits of the compost in the bin next to it this morning, and actually even last night when I was putting those leaves in there, I was able to sit on the cinder block and spread the leaves out and kind of look at the ground, and there were no bugs. But when it's still hot like this, see if you can see them, so many gnats and flies and any number of things. Not tons and tons of flies, but a lot of things love, which is why it's on the other side of the house. It's on the back of the house. It only stays this way for a little while because let's see if I can get it to steam. It's hard to do one-handed. Look, let's see if we get, yep. Look at that. And that's what you want it to look like on the inside. And that will kill pretty much anything. Let's see what the moisture level is. Whew, that's pretty hot. I can squeeze out, but none drops. So okay, now my hand's disgusting. I did not think that through. Okay. But anyway, this is the hot one, and I don't put a lot of paper and stuff in this, just leaves and grass clippings and some pine straw, different things like that, because I use this pretty quickly. So I need to turn that completely over today. If the outside is super dry, and it's pretty dry, but I water it often. I work my compost piles frequently since I'm here and I can do it, and they compost a lot faster that way. Look at the gourds and the pumpkins and all the good things. That's DE as well. Now that my hand's disgusting, I guess we're gonna have to see what's on the underside of these leaves today. Nothing's eating this one right now. It looks like it might be good. Now my nasty hand is holding my camera. And I was not worried about a little bit of leaf damage on these anyway. I don't want tons because the leaves are pretty, and that's one of the reasons I like gourds, but if there was a little bit of leaf damage, that would have been okay, because I'm looking for the fruit anyway. I don't see anything on the stems. We're looking good. So when I came over this morning, this made me go get my camera, because this I have never seen before. Let's see if I can, where are you? There it is. Okay, let's get a good angle on this. There. Tell it to focus right there. Look at that. Looks like spittlebug. Wait. Nothing that I looked up looks like that, by the way. It said spittlebug when I Googled it, or actually the first thing it said is beta. that your fish must be laying eggs. And I'm thinking, not in the Hugel garden probably. But if you have an idea, because that doesn't, a spittlebug looks sort of like a leafhopper, and that little black bug did not. So it could be that he's just there, or he could be a predator about to eat those eggs, which I assume that's an egg sac, or something along those lines. Where are we? Here we go. Okay, but everything else is doing pretty well. The sunflowers still growing. I don't think that's a very, very tall kind. Look at this crazy pumpkin. Let's see if I can get my hand over here without stepping on anything. I try not to ever step in my beds. And I have very long fingers. I can span over an octave. Those are huge, huge leaves. So, yay. Purslane still coming up. These little tomato plants are finally doing better. They're nice and they're green. Let's see if we can focus. There we go. They're nice and they're green. They're finally getting a little bit of height on them. I think these are cherry tomatoes. And I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, somebody let me know. I know you guys know. Pretty sunflowers. Okay, so that's really what I wanted to show you mostly this morning is the spit nest. Oh, just for my own, I'm gonna do this for me. You guys don't even have to finish watching. The other day, I had about 1 billion little Coleus seeds finally germinate. It was my second or third batch. And on the way out there, I noticed my ginger is coming up and something tried to eat it. But this is back in the woods and I try to keep this like 100% natural. You either make it or you don't out here. And I put down several, is that another one? Yep. A little tiny bit of green poking up, that's another one. So I'll have to, I don't treat with chemicals at all ever back here. I pull material for my compost, for my worms, for any number of things back here. I'm getting a low battery, so maybe this won't go as long as I thought. And this is the area, okay, that's what the areas all look like back here against the back fence. And then I cleared all of that. I was so proud of me. And I came back and thought, wonder if the Coleus will be happy here. And they are. They're finally getting their colors. Even more so than the ones in the flat because they're not getting any nutrition. These are starting to show the color, some of them more than others. And I planted, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, between 16 and 18 so far. And I need to plant more because these will grow 14 to 24 inches depending on the variety. And so that whole area, I intend to be one big mass Coleus planting. And then what I'll do is I'll take cuttings from the ones that I like best and overwinter them like I did with the Kong Rose last year. And if you guys don't know what a Kong Rose is, Google, oh, you know what? We can walk over here. This is the area, maybe I should back up. This is the area where the chicken run will be. See, nice tree cover from several trees, which is why it was so shady over there. And Paul's shop was over there, but it's gonna be a temporary home right there, that run right there. They'll get a little bit of filtered sunlight, but they'll be protected overhead from hawks and things like that. That's the giant door Paul hopefully will put on today to keep the chickies safe. And this is still uncovered. And those of you who follow me on Facebook know that I put this up probably, well, last weekend. I did this last weekend. I dug it all out, planted all the elephant ears and Coleus. And I put this weed cover down, and I have been sort of, I think I'm gonna take it up. I don't think I want plastic down. That's why it's not covered. I kept looking at it thinking, I need to go do that. No, I think I need to go do that. No. But I don't think I want the plastic down. There's not even heavy weeds back here. If you'll look, most of it is moss. And I think I can easily keep this, I can keep the weeds out of this alone without such drastic measures being taken. So what I'll do is I'll take all the plastic up and put down, I thought about putting down a layer of mulch, but honestly, I mean of compost, but honestly, they don't need it. This is incredibly rich soil back here. And let me show you. Look at that. All I did is pull back the plastic. Right. I don't want to disturb it too much because I don't want this plant's roots disturbed, but that's okay. Anyway, so I have several varieties of elephant ear interplanted with Coleus. And this is a Kong rose. And it looks kind of small and spindly because I overwintered it. And they're annuals. They don't usually do well with that. But this one did, and that variety did. So I got several varieties, tried to overwinter them in several different ways to see what was super hardy and what would live in the house. And these two did. Now this one is coming back really nicely. Beautiful leaves. And this is my new, what is that? Oop, sorry. Let's see if I can get it. Okay. I had the tags for all of them somewhere. And this one, I very much dislike it when they just say elephant ear. Do you know how many, wait a minute, is there one down there? Yes. Let's see. Oh, no. I thought it was going to say something down. It's colocasia or alocasia. 6 to 1, half dozen the other, I guess. But that one's really pretty. I like the dark ones. So that was a Kong rose, and that was the whole reason I came back here. And yes, I am definitely going to be taking up the plastic, putting in maybe some compost, maybe not, but then I'll mulch either way. Keep the moisture in here and keep that fantastic biology going on in the bed. But Kong rose is just so stunning. I'm hoping I have some more somewhere, but I'll be propagating. I hate to do it because it's a pretty plant and I want it in my garden this year, but I'm going to snip off that top part probably today or tomorrow and start rooting it. Well, I've got some serious wobbling going on, don't I? Anyway, get that done. And that's what's going on in the garden today. We have, let's see, we have bugs. We have foamy nests. I'm not entirely sure there's not a caterpillar in my hair. And any number of leaf munching things. So, but my Coleus is doing incredibly well everywhere I put it. And the pumpkin is doing really, really well. And the mustard in the big bed is doing well. It had a little bit of leaf damage, but that's fine. Just clip that off. And for now, that's it. Hope you guys have a great day. From Christina, the Happy Heretic. Like it if you like it, and subscribe if you want to see what crazy thing I'm up to on any given day.